Hey, y'all, it's time for another edition of Trash Talk, and we are obviously going to the limits here
We are.
in this show. One of us has experienced some of this nonsense, the other one has not. Can you guess which one? If Brandon moves a little bit out of the shot, who is that? Who
Oh
is
yeah.
that daredevil?
Oh yeah. Good
Yep.
times. Good
It's
times,
it's
man.
brand. I just can't even imagine what that feeling is.
It was an amazing experience, and I talk about it on the podcast. I did a show about it maybe a year ago. So if you guys can go to Life of an Average Joe podcast, check out all the past shows. I totally talk about this experience. It was really one of the first years I moved to Texas, trying to get acclimated, meet some people, hang out. And obviously, I was working the bars. So I was bouncing to bar to hang out with new people and bartenders. And we had this group and they wanted to put together a skydiving trip. So I was like, yeah, I'm in, let's go. So one Saturday, there's about 18 of us, maybe more.
Wow.
Um, yeah, we went out to Skydive Dallas, shout out, and went out there
Yeah,
early because most of us had to work that night.
oh,
And we also early. So I mean, we got out there and we did the training, and that was pretty cool, to do that. And it didn't hit me really during that whole training process. We suited up. I saw the little tiny airplane that we were going up in. I mean, this thing is like this yellow, pond jumper type airplane,
right.
and we're all talking, we're going up there, and it's cool because I got this on DVD. They documented it for me. So it's like one of the coolest things ever. And I still talk to a lot of them today, which is awesome. Of course, we're older now, but uh, we get in there and we went up and I was still like the adrenaline, like we're crazy bartending, bar manager, just nuts people anyway. So we got up there and I was all the way like closer to the cockpit. Well, your first time, you got to have a jumping buddy.
But
So nothing like having a big black man strapped to you. You know what I'm saying? Like good times. Like I
so
felt like I was in prison.
putting your life in his hands.
But and I'm short, and this dude is tall, and I'm like, you're gonna be my best friend right now.
Yeah, that's right.
so so we were all the way. I was one of the last people, and everybody in there was excited, but then they got kind of quiet. That door opens.
You're really excited until you get to that open door.
Yeah, that door slides open, and I'm like,
Ooh.
shoot, you know? And there's a girl crying, and I'm like, honey, you're going to do just fine. You're going to be fine. She's like, you don't know that. I'm like, if you're not, it doesn't matter anyway. Like,
That's
you're
right.
dead, you know? And I did have a moment where we were scooting up, he's strapped to me. I'm like baby Yoda,
Right,
I'm
right.
like crunching up here. And we're ducking down and we get to the side and he's like, you ready? And I'm like, no, no, you know, but I don't even remember what happened, dude. I just remember we jumped out of the plane. And for me, I mean, my eyes were open. I'm like, here we go. And for me, I felt like we just jumped. But when you watch the video, we cartwheeled out of the plane. And I'm like, oh, and then he's like, put your arms out. So I'm going like, and we're free falling. And I'm like, and I'm seeing people. And then it was a level of adrenaline and joy that I cannot describe. You can't really scream very much because the wind, I mean, my cheeks are getting pulled back, and we had the sticker for our group, our bartending group was plastered on my head, and I'm doing all kinds of weird, stupid things. But the one part I didn't like, they pop the, string, you pull it, you got your chute. They tell you it's going to jerk you up. They don't really give you, especially us guys,
Yeah.
a real moment of that feeling between your legs. Cause I was like, oh God, and that part made me feel a little sick to my stomach. But after that, man, my landing was smooth. I lifted my legs up, slid on my butt, and
They, they, they,
coolest
they,
thing ever, man.
They told you it was going to jerk you up. They didn't tell you exactly how much of you it was going to jerk
I
up,
know I
right?
have a joke and I can't say it, but I heard up, but I think it got me anyway. Stop.
Well, and I know that they usually do take videos of most of the
It was
people
awesome.
that jump.
Awesome.
My daughter and my son both have gone jumping. My daughter just thought it was better than any roller coaster she had ever been on. She was not apprehensive right from the get go. She was ready for it. Went out like you said with a few friends, and she was absolutely. My son was in absolute horror. And you talk about you're watching the ground coming closer and
Yeah.
closer at a very very fast rate. My son said he doesn't remember that because his eyes were tearing up so much that he couldn't see anything. And his tandem jumper with him is saying, "What do you think? Are you having a great time?" My son couldn't utter a word. Both of them have their videos and everything, and
Yeah.
it's like night and day. I've
It's a
never
wild experience because especially when you're holding it and I got to like do this. Now you
Yeah,
never want to do this because that closes your chute, but
right.
it was, I mean, you feel like you're up there for, I felt like it was forever. I mean, it is truly an amazing. I probably will never do it again unless Luke is older and I know that if I die, he can take care of himself. Um, it's the same thing with bungee jumping. I've gone bungee jumping like 3 times, maybe
Right.
four.
All right. So in bungee jumping, when you jump off that platform, how does that compare to jumping out of an airplane?
I think the bungee jump thing to me, the reality of it is a little bit more scary. As funny as that sounds, you've got your chute, your parachute, you've got your dude, the bungee jump. I mean, are they really professionals and are they really getting their equipment, checked out? Where are
They
you doing it
better.
at? You don't have a chute with you.
Right.
You don't have a backup plan and you are flinging yourself off. Yes, you can tell them to push, but you're flinging like that girl behind you or that guy behind you. That was me. I was like, let's go, and you are going down. Now, I will say the initial jerk, the one time it kind of was like weird. Um, but man, then you just kind of holding on and you're just kind of swinging. And now we did it across water once, which I don't think I ever want to do again. Then we did it across land and we had this valley. That was really cool. It's kind of crazy though, because you're literally jump like that. Anything can happen. It can snap. You got to have a lot of faith and trust in everybody that's with you. And when I start to see these people that do this crazy stuff like extreme rock climbing, or they're like, today we're going to dive down to the deepest abyss in the ocean. Nobody's done it. And I'm like,
Right.
what? Why?
Yeah. Well, I mean, bungee jumping, and I've never tried that either. The closest I ever got was I think I jumped off of a step stool onto my bed. But just that free fall experience, because now you're not strapped to anybody else.
No,
You are not going to feel anything until you get to the length of the bungee cord.
that's
And then
right.
all of a sudden, like you said, it just snaps you back up. And
Yeah.
then you're bouncing up and down until you finally, come to a rest. But for those people that like that daredevil kind of stuff, I mean, I would think that would probably be the purest form of just throwing it all out there.
Well, you got that. You've got hand gliding and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I've talked to people that do that like rock climbing. And I'm not just talking rock climbing. I'm talking some extreme stuff. You see those guys that aren't strapped, that are bouncing, and I'm like, dude, it's just a matter of time. We just had somebody the other day that was a couple weeks ago, one of those parkour extreme climbers that climbed the building, fell off, and died. And I'm like, of course. Or the guy that they go in these caves and these unexplored caves and forget everything that could potentially be in that cave. They're like, this is so tight, you have to, and the guy gets stuck and their body can't be retrieved. And I'm like, there's a level of adrenaline and then there's a level of stupidity.
Well, and anybody who has a high level of adrenaline, they're always pushing themselves to the next level,
Sure.
because like a guy that will climb a mountain, after he's done that so many times, then all of a sudden the challenge of going up a the face of a cliff,
Hmm.
or even a negative incline, becomes more challenging. That I really can't figure out how anybody can support their weight on their fingertips while they're climbing straight up the face of a cliff or so. Um,
Yeah.
but any sport, and they've got reality shows on TV now where from Survivor to
Hmm.
now taking it to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth level. They're taking retired Navy SEALs and Rangers and everything that say, put me through anything. I'll jump through anything and off of anything. Somebody's always gonna come up with a deal to try and push the human limits. And there's
Sure.
always those people that are going to be out there that say, "Yeah, I'll do it." Uh, I don't know. I'll watch it on TV, and it's even sometimes
It's pretty
scary when
intense.
you watch it on TV.
No, it's pretty intense. I watched this movie. It's a horrible, awful movie that I was just rooting for the people to fail in. But it's I think it's called Fall or Falling, and it's about this. One of them's an influencer, and one of them's like her best friend, and they used to go rock climbing. They used to do these rock climbing things, which is crazy by itself.
Yeah.
Well, her boyfriend falls off, dies, whatever. Well, so she's going down the rabbit hole of depression, but her friend says, "Hey, I want to get you back out there. I think it's good for you. I found one of the highest towers in the world. It's an abandoned radio tower, highest tower in the world or in the country, one of them, and we can climb it." And I'm like, "What?" And they literally go, they sneak in, and just looking at this thing, you're like, and it's rusty, and there's like vultures hanging out, and like, the whole movie is, and I'm watching it. I'm not even scared. I'm not even nervous. I'm just mad at them for being dumb. And I'm just like, I really hope that both of you fall right now and in
Yeah.
this movie, and this will be
Yeah.
the greatest thing ever. But you start reading about the real people that have done these, and there are those spots, especially in this country, that you and I don't really hear about. But there are those spots in this country where they have these unique buildings and towers and cliffs, and like there's a group of people that'll do it. They will risk life and limb and going to jail to do it. And I'm like, that's beyond adrenaline rush. That you are missing something in your life.
Right. Well, I mean, for people that have been runners, you run your 5Ks,
Yeah,
10Ks, you
sure.
run a marathon. They've got these ultra events, like 100-mile run across uh, 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 the desert in California. Uh,
Man.
eh, you know, anything to push the human limits. You're always going to find somebody that's willing to organize it, and
Sure.
there's always going to be those people that are willing to try it.
And I think there is something really amazing about it. And it is a testament to what the human body can do. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should, but I do think it's interesting. And it's not one of those things that I'm like, oh, you should never push yourself. I absolutely believe it. Like if you've done a 5K, then up it. If you've done a half marathon, up it. If you've like, absolutely, but I'm not doing it. I'm not because I'm lazy. It's because I'm smart. I'm not jumping out of a bungee because how stupid am I going to feel if I'm like, you know what? I feel like going bungee jumping again. And that snaps and I die and I just killed myself and my son doesn't have a dad.
Right.
That's that. And it's my fault because I'm an idiot.
Well,
Like,
but that you just said it. What you did when you were young and stupid doesn't equate to what you might do now that you are older, more mature, and more
yes,
responsible.
super more mature. Absolutely.
Well, okay, all right, bad choice of words, but you're now you're not young and stupid. You're a
I'm
little
just not going to do it. Yeah, I'm
yeah
old and stupid, you know. But I like to pick my stupid things, like
right right.
like my
You want to pick your
stupidity
own
level
level of
is
stupidity.
yeah, like my stupid level is safe. Like I'm going to stay up to 4 a.m. and I have to be up at 6 because I want to watch these horror movies, or
Right.
I'm gonna look at my electric bill and say you're too expensive. I got a 15-foot skeleton I got to buy. Like I'll do that.
Well, whatever your challenges are, folks, go out, do it, challenge yourself, write to us and let us know. And if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving probably isn't your best sport.
Yeah, you probably should give it
Yeah,
up.
think of something else. So, anyway, go out, make it a good one. Come back and catch us next week. All right, bye.